currently on our way to Gloucester. We were going to get fuel, food and head up into the Barrington Tops this weekend away, but not even at Gloucester yet. Dad called and his car's broken down on the side of the road, so we're going here to see what we can figure out what's going on with it. So I made it down to Dad. Just first thing I got to do is get him off the road. He's in a real bad spot on a corner on the edge of the road, so we'll get him off there and figure it out.
Proudly supported by Opus Campers, Ultimate 9, Superior Engineering, GME, and in part by... So a quick recap of the situation. Dad was on his way to Gloucester to meet up with me for a weekend of full driving and camping. He called me and said his 3-litre Patrol completely cut out on the road about 6-7 minutes after he filled it up back in town. Thankfully, I was only about 10 minutes behind him on the road, so I got there pretty quickly. Our suspicion was either something in the fuel system had failed or he'd got some bad fuel.
They working these when we were trying to pump fuel through it before. Do you recall that up at Cooktown?
Yeah.
I wonder, should I just try and give it a quick crank now, just in the event there's been some... We're not going to hurt it, just it might go.
No. Suppose we want to pull that fuel filter out and see what's in it, and then I can put a scan gauge on it, see if it's throwing any codes or whatever. I can call Berto and see what he says.
Hey, Mr. Thompson.
Hey, what's going on? I got Dad off the road. He was in a bad spot, so we just pulled him off the road, and now he's in like someone's driveway, and they're happy we're all here.
Yeah,
and that.
They're all good with that, mate. And those same very people told me the local fuel here is something that the locals dodge, so it's fair to say it's got water or something in the fucking thing.
Mate, what did you fucking fill up there for?
Yeah,
We got all new injectors, all new fuel pump. They don't like water.
yeah, right, yeah.
Scan it, this is easy. And then my next thing I was going to say is, yeah, pull the fuel filter out and get a clear container. Empty the fuel filter into the clear container.
Yeah.
See what's in it. And if it's got water in it, it's bad time.
Yeah, rightio. Alright, well anyways, we'll do those couple of things and then we'll see how we go from there.
Yeah, do that. Let me know how you go. I'm just at home, so like worst case, I can bring a jerry can and a jiggle siphon.
So I got the Ultimate 9 scan gauge there, plug it into the OBD reader and turn this car on a bit and see what it says. Berto's calling now. Hey.
You might as well just call me. It says there's 2 DTCs.
It says there's three DTCs, then I've gone into it, and one's fuel pressure regulator, one performance, and then the other two are the throttle code thing, which were there in Cape York from the tune or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say those two are normal.
But yeah, it's P00889.
It could be because water doesn't compress, so it's not seeing the pressure that it should, if it does have water in it. So I'll be checking, water. I wouldn't be too stressed about them codes. Like, there's nothing underlying bigger than what we already probably think it is.
Yeah, these are very handy to have, just a little code breaker if you got any carved computer, like they're not very much money, and then you can scan your basic codes and see what's going on. So we're getting a fuel pressure regulator code, we cleared it, but it still won't start. So I have to pull the fuel
filter
out, fuel filter out and see what's in it.
And where down we go, where down we go.
So we got the fuel lines off, undid out of its bracket. Now we just got to get this electrical sensor off, which is your water in fuel. You didn't have a light on your dash come on that you saw?
No.
So yeah, we got a clear container. We'll tip the fuel in and see what comes out. Yeah, clean that up first, so then just tip in the container away. There's no water in there yet.
Yeah.
So if you got water, it will it'll be separate from the diesel. It'll be all like big bubbles in the diesel and that. Yeah, that diesel's clean as, so we're out of ideas. But yeah, there's definitely no water. That diesel's clean as. There's no diesel algae. There's no water. No nothing. So you reckon one of the fuel parts failed?
Potentially. Do you want to FaceTime me?
Yeah, I'll FaceTime you.
Can I do more than scan? But did you try and start it after you cleared it? Nah.
Yeah, it still didn't start.
Yeah, I don't know. Looks like you have shit creek.
So probably has to go on the truck.
Can't be.
Yeah.
That'd be fuel rail pressure. What's that say? 210 kPa. The 3 litre strikes again, mate. You're making content out of it.
Yeah, look, mate, we got Demi here filming.
It's done it again, Berto.
There's have done it again, Gary, mate. What have you been doing to it?
Very, very little. You don't have to do much to them to do this to you.
Mate, we're going to sort something out.
You did a BMW.
I've got the fuel filter back in. I'm just going to re-prime it. I'll pump it till this goes hard. Fuel filter's full then. And then what we're going to do is that Ultima 9 code reader we found on it, it'll give you FRP, which is fuel reg pressure. So we're going to crank it and see what pressure the fuel regulator is getting. So now it's back together. We'll just give it a quick crank just in case something magical happens. No. Okay, let me crank it again and see what this FRP does as I'm cranking up. FRP is 210 while I'm cranking, so it's not getting fuel pressure. No
So Berto
fuel.
did something wrong.
Good one, Berto.
Fucking not answering, guys.
Okay. Yeah, I got it back together, re-primed it, car won't start, and then I cranked it while I had that thing on. It's just saying 210 the whole time. Like some of the other figures were moving around on that.
Yeah, but it's not.
It-
So I was just on the phone to Benny, and we think that code is the suction control valve on the back of the fuel pump.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Do you want to check if it's plugged in? If it's maybe like come loose?
Yeah, okay. I was saying before, if Berto was here watching this, he'd be doing your head in, mate.
Mate, if I was there, that thing would have been running 6 minutes ago.
I can't remember what the last thing we said was, but we have been doing a little bit more diagnosing, and yeah, it's just getting no fuel pressure. So we think it's probably, talk to Berto and talk to Benny, I think it's probably that little sensor, the fuel pressure thing on the side of the fuel pump, whatever they're called. Now we do actually have a spare one, but we just don't really have the tools here to do it. But Dad's called Berto and he's about an hour away. So Berto's gonna go back to mine, grab all the tools out of the shed, come down, swap that part over. Fingers crossed that fixes it. If it doesn't, then he's just going to be on a tow truck back home for the weekend and figure it out next week or whatever.
I got some money in my pocket. I got the cockies in my hand.
It's random that it's done there. Like everything is brand new.
Yeah.
Hopefully the one that's been rattling around in your door is good. Or hopefully that's the issue, it's not something else. Now that I'm here, we can try a couple of things to it. We can get a bit more advanced.
Yeah, so Berto was on his day off. Day off's cancelled.
I knew as soon as we were on the phone, I probably should have left straight away. But I was like, no, I can probably sort it out, I'll let him do it. But it's not that simple this time, is it?
No. Pull the battery out, pull a few things out of the way here, so it's easy to get down to that part, which is in a terrible spot there. He's brought like a torque set, which is kind of what we needed, some special torques that I do have some, but it wasn't really suitable for this job, so he's brought some specialized tools.
I came from an hour away, we might as well have the exact thing we need.
Yeah, and he's got the specialized knowledge. We'll put this new sensor in, or second-hand spare one we had, and fingers crossed that fixes something.
Come on, baby, you know there ain't no time to mess around. Let your hang down.
We got the whole starter kit, we got the sensor, and we got the suction. So if it's any of them, we can change or check any of them.
Yeah, this was from our Cape York drama. We ended up with spares of a few things.
Yeah, we just replaced these even though they weren't broken.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to be broken, it's potentially going to be this. This thing's leaking too.
Yeah, we noticed that.
Well, that's probably why your car doesn't run. Should have bought some, I had roll 309, mate.
Yeah.
Whole roll of it.
We didn't even think anything of it.
Nah, that's why, mate, that's why I'm a mechanic and you're YouTube, mate.
So Berto's got the new suction control valve in, but then you just primed it back up, and what'd you find?
This new genuine primer we have is leaking fuel out of it, which means sucking air. Which means the code that we had for low fuel pressure regulator, it's probably got low fuel pressure regulator because it's not getting enough fuel to the thing.
The family's back. What do you got, Zevi? Wow.
Try it, baby. I'll take you by the hand. 'Cause there's a world out there for you. Girl, don't you understand?
So a couple of hose clamps on that, and now she's maybe holding tight.
Maybe. So Now I've got to put it all back together. Then probably have to prime the fuel system. And then hopefully it starts. Which I'm pretty confident it should start. Because if it wasn't that, it was definitely that.
You give me such a feeling. You almost scared me half to death. Ow. My little girl, you stole reserve.
So the suction control valve on the pump was replaced and hose clamps on the fuel primer so it was no longer leaking, but the GU was still not keen to go. Berto cracked the injectors to let any air out of the system, did some more diagnostics on the scan gauge, checked all the fuses for the engine and fuel system that none of them had blown.
So he's had a phone call to the 3 litre expert. Benny, what did he say?
He said he called me back in 15 minutes. I think he's going to look something up. But the only other thing that's left on this system, right, that, like the fuel pump's new, the injector's new, it's not going to be that. We changed the sensor, it's not going to be that. Changed the suction control valve. We're 98% sure that one's good. There's a relief bung thing in the end of the rail just here.
Yeah.
And if maybe that's stuck open and the fuel's just like going around and not building pressure.
Yeah, okay.
We do have one, but I don't know. I don't think that it'll be that. I don't know what's wrong with it. Thread later. Thread later, mate. I don't know what's wrong with the current. I know what he's done.
What?
He's filled it up with petrol. That smells like petrol. Smell that. That smells like petrol. That doesn't smell. My nose doesn't really work too good, but I just got a whiff of straight petrol. Not diesel. Tell me that's not petrol.
I think so.
It smells like petrol.
That's petrol.
That's petrol. So you know what that means?
He's f***ed it
All
all.
these injectors and everything are f***ed again. That's 100% petrol.
You didn't label the fuel thing for him?
Dude, diesel. Diesel.
That sucks. That's a big... That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
But it's probably got no fuel pressure because the pumps lubricates off diesel. So if he's just driven from there to here on fuel.
Yeah, because he's probably done 5 to 8 Ks or something. I feel so bad. He'll be so off that.
That big pump, and I smelled it and I was like, that's not diesel, man.
Yeah.
Which that's probably also why that primer is leaking, because petrol is a lot more corrosive than diesel.
Yeah.
And that's like a plastic rubber primer. Did you potentially maybe fill it up with petrol? Not diesel? Because it smells like it's got petrol on it.
We think we've worked out it's full of petrol, not diesel.
Did you have the receipt? No. You gotta have a smell. I just put it everywhere, but my nose doesn't work properly.
Smells like petrol to me.
It looked like petrol in those dishes, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did it?
I don't know.
Oh, shit.
They both look pretty similar.
God, help me.
Welcome to the Roadside Assistance. You're speaking with Sonny. Can I start with your name, please?
We've accidentally put petrol instead of diesel in it. We've driven, I don't know, 6 to 8 Ks down the road. It's shut off, so it needs to go on a tow truck. Yeah, that is a real shame. Dad's very upset about that, as I'm sure you'd expect. We got a tow truck coming. So I think Dad's going to go home with Berto now, and then they'll meet the tow truck driver at mine, unload it there. And I suppose next week we'll have a look into seeing what we can do with this thing. Best case scenario, we drain it, get diesel back in it and it goes. It didn't destroy everything. Or worst case, fuel pump, injectors, everything's dead.
Alright, weekend's over. We're back at work. I've got to try and fix Gary's car for him. So to start that, I'm going to pull up all his back carpet, open up the fuel inspection thing, and I'm going to jiggle siphon all the 98 out. Because that's what ended up happening. Gary put a full tank of premium 98, not premium diesel in. So, fingers crossed nothing's shagged, but I don't know. I've siphoned out with the jiggle siphon most of the fuel. I've still got a litre or two that I can't get out because it's too thin on the bottom. SP do this vacuum bleeder. You can also use it to suck liquids out of hard to reach places because we have this nice long hose that we can get in wherever we want. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Noisy bastard there. I've got to empty this a few times. It's only got like a litre capacity.
So I've got all the petrol out now. I'm gonna have to go to the shops, get a couple of jerry cans full of diesel, and then pump some up out through the filter, get that all clean, and then we'll see if it's fucked. Next bit is all the lines to the tank are gonna have unleaded in them still. So we filled that with diesel at the tank. I'm gonna use this primer, pump through the filter until it starts smelling like diesel, looks like diesel, and then I'll hook it up and we will see if it runs. Put your comments down below, see if they're gonna run or not. I'm confident that's diesel now. Gonna put this hose back on, gonna prime it up, we're gonna see if it starts.
And what were you saying a minute ago, like if it doesn't, like what's the petrol going through the fuel system cause it to do? Like what's it likely to have broken?
So likely the fuel pump. Diesel is more oily than petrol. Petrol's like no lubrication at all. And fuel pumps need lubrication to survive. If they don't, it just turns metal on metal, makes the pump all worn out, then it doesn't build rail pressure, and then all the metal also goes through all your injectors.
So that's probably the likely. We're praying that somehow miraculously survive, but it's likely the fuel pump and injectors are both dead.
Likely, yeah. I have seen them survive, but
he drove a bit of distance.
It's
and
like
then
7Ks or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it turned off. Normally, if you start it, you realise and you go, oh shit, turn it off. Normally pretty good. Drive it till it stops, fair chance it's not going to be good. I'm just going to go wipe my hands so I don't stink up his car.
And then moment of truth.
I've got this little Ultimate 9 code breaker on here. It does scan, does live data, some live data. It does give us fuel rail pressure, so I'm just going to do a scan on it. I'm going to set it up to live data, we're going to crank it and see if the rail pressure goes up at all more than what it did the other day.
Yeah.
If it doesn't look good. 430, more than we've had the whole time. I'll go pump that thing back up, maybe crack some injectors.
So I built a slight bit of pressure there.
We doubled the KPA. It was at 0, went up to 210. We just hit 430, which is still not enough, but this was also soft, like it sucked this down. I'm gonna crank it a little bit more, and then I'm gonna pump it up again, and then I'll crack some injectors and crank it. It's 650, mate.
650.
Yeah.
It's building. What's it meant to be, but?
A lot.
Like 13,000?
Well, you unplug the sensor and it goes to 18,000.
Yeah.
So that'll be the extreme max.
Yeah.
But it probably wants to be around. I'd have to look the specs up again, but it's a lot more than that. 870. So now I'll crack that, because that could have still had unleaded in all the way up there. There's big puddles of diesel on top of those injectors. I've just done 2. You only really need to do 1 to get all the air out.
Yeah, okay.
Do you jump pack? I'm just going to put a jump pack on it, make it turn over a bit faster, because I don't think it's turning over fast enough to get the right amount of rail pressure.
Mate.
Look at that.
Get
3 litres of shit, mate. Sounds pretty good.
Surely not.
Sounds pretty good. You know how I was saying?
What's that?
I think the max on that is 180,000, because currently at Ireland it's got 36,000 KPA.
Yeah, okay.
So when we were looking at it before, we had what, 650?
Yeah.
Now it's at like 36,000.
It sounds good.
It does sound good. Put the back together and go for a drive.
Yeah. That's shocking. Better on Reynolds, but I could not be more happy for Dad. He'll be very stoked if this thing goes. So we'll put back together, go for a test drive, like burn it in a bit. That's unbelievable. Mate, 3 litres, can't stop them.
Oh, bullshit. He took me out, but he's taken me out. He said, I'm coming to visit you. I didn't hear about this end of it. Is this where these 3 litre pigs do the turnaround? Then you can't kill them or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Pa's car.
Bullshit.
I said, hey, how about instead of just calling in the town, just bring it out there. It'll make up for making me feel bad.
Oh, mate, I gutted myself that next day.
And then you're good to go.
Oh, bullshit. Good on you, mate.
You're right.
Incredible.
You can't even tell it's happened.
Unbelievable,
Happy days, man.
mate.
Happy days.
They can give you something to do Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's incredible. Oh, man.
Get in the candy store.
Oh, mate.
Because we were fixing it this morning and just pulling all petrol out of everything, and there's no
We were both
chance.
thinking this thing's going to be fine. There's no chance.
Yeah.
And then it just went.
Yeah.
And it all sounds nice. Like it does.
Good, Alex.
Like,
Mine's good, Alex.
so I don't think it's taken much. Like I wouldn't stress. I don't think it's
It's not
gonna.
die tomorrow, though.
Got that for you too. Newlon diesel fuel system cleaner
Oh,
When you
yeah.
fill it up, put that in.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
diesel, not petrol.
I've been over and over it in my head. Remember the plate to release, you got to put a second hand on
You
a
do,
diesel
yeah.
pump.
I was going to put a sticker on your car, but I didn't want to rub salt in the wound. I was going to put one on your dash that said diesel only. It was an overall good outcome. I
Yeah.
don't think any of us were expecting.
I,
Nah.
I did bash myself up that next day.
I was hoping for you on Friday. I was f***ing hoping for you.
It forms an incredible bloody through Blake's life, this pastime, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and you said that about going away with your mates when it's really real, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is real.
Normally